Welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive?
Always. What are we digging into today?
Well, today we're taking a trip to 2025. Spain, to be exact.
Spain in 2025. Sounds intriguing.
It is. We're going to explore the future of cybersecurity over there.
Cybersecurity in 2025. Wow, that's not that far off.
I know, right? It'll be here before we know it.
So how are we getting this glimpse into the future?
We're going to be listening in on a roundtable discussion.
Oh, cool. Like eavesdropping on the experts?
Pretty much. It was from a Spanish radio show, Capital Radio's afterwork program.
And who are these experts?
They had some big names in cybersecurity. First, Román Ramírez, co-founder of Reddit.
Reddit, that's a major cybersecurity community in Spain, right?
Exactly. They also had Ofelia Tejerina, a cyber law expert and president of the Association of Internautas.
Okay, so we've got the tech side and the legal side covered. Anyone else?
Yes, César López, president of the Good Jobs Foundation. They focus on training and employing people with disabilities in tech.
That's fantastic. So what were these experts predicting about cybersecurity in 2025?
Well, Román Ramírez jumped right in and said automation is the key word for 2025.
Automation. Makes sense, right? Everything's becoming more automated.
Yeah, but Ramírez went a step further. He was saying that companies are becoming obsessed with cutting costs.
Ah, so they're turning to automation to replace jobs.
Yeah, and specifically entry-level and junior cybersecurity roles, those level 0 and 1 positions.
Wow, that's a bold prediction. But wouldn't that create problems down the line?
That's exactly what sparked a huge debate. I mean, if nobody's willing to hire juniors because AI is doing their jobs,
then how do you get those senior experts everyone needs?
Exactly. It's a catch-22, almost. You need experience for the job, but how do you get experience if you can't get the job?
Right. It's a real concern.
And another expert on the panel, Pablo Santamateo, chimed in to emphasize this point.
What did he have to say?
Well, he said that hands-on experience, those hours spent grappling with problems early in your career, are absolutely crucial to becoming a true expert.
It's like any skill, really. You can't just read about it, you have to do it.
Exactly. Imagine trying to become a chef by just reading cookbooks.
You'd be a disaster in the kitchen.
Right. You need that real-world experience, making mistakes and learning from them. And in cybersecurity, that early experience helps you develop a deep understanding of how things work.
How systems operate, how attacks happen, how to defend against them.
Exactly. And Santameteo's point was, without that foundation, you just can't become a truly seasoned professional.
Okay, so picture this. 2025 rolls around, and there's a serious shortage of experienced cybersecurity professionals.
Because the next generation was pushed out by automation.
That's a scary thought.
And you know what's even more unsettling? Román Ramírez pointed out another potential risk of this automation push.
Oh no, what's that?
He called it the potential migration of talent to the dark side.
The dark side, you mean like cyber criminals?
Exactly.
Yeah.
His argument was that if you have talented cybersecurity professionals, but they're not being compensated fairly,
they might be tempted to use their skills for the wrong reasons.
Exactly. Think about it. You have all this expertise, you know how systems work, you know how to exploit weaknesses.
And if you're not being valued in the legit world, it might be tempting to go where the money is.
Right. And Ramírez even mentioned platforms like Zerodium.
Where people can sell vulnerabilities for a lot of money.
Yes. So you can see how those financial incentives could pull some people away from ethical hacking.
It's a complex issue for sure.
It really makes you wonder, if we don't value human expertise in cybersecurity,
we might end up creating a more dangerous digital world.
Exactly. But it's not all doom and gloom. César López offered a really interesting perspective.
Oh, good. I need some good news.
Well, López and his organization, the Good Job Foundation, are all about training people for cybersecurity roles. And they're specifically focused on people with disabilities.
Wow, that's incredible.
Right. And they're not shying away from the automation challenge at all. They've developed two key responses. They're not fighting it, they're embracing it.
I like that. So what are they doing?
Their first program is called Factory. And in it, trainees work on real-world cybersecurity tasks for companies.
Ah, so they're getting practical experience beyond those basic entry-level roles.
Precisely. They're learning the skills that are in high demand, regardless of automation.
That's fantastic. What about the second program?
It's called iFocus. And get this, they're training people to have superpowers in AI.
Superpowers in AI.
I know, right? It's brilliant. Instead of fearing AI, they're using it to make their trainees even more competitive.
It's like judo, using your opponent's strength against them.
Exactly. They're showing that we can adapt and even thrive in the face of technological change.
That's inspiring. So even with the threat of automation,
There are still ways to develop talent and create opportunities in cybersecurity.
absolutely.
The Good Job Foundation is proof that human ingenuity and compassion can lead the way in building a more inclusive and secure digital future.
It gives you hope, doesn't it?
It does. But it also raises a really important question. With this looming talent squeeze on one hand and innovative solutions like the Good Job Foundation on the other.
How do we make sure that everyone has access to the training and opportunities they need?
Right. And how do we do that in a field that's evolving as rapidly as cybersecurity?
These are questions we need to keep asking as we move forward.
So we've talked a lot about the talent side of things, but there's another crucial aspect of this conversation that we can't ignore.
You mean privacy?
Yes, privacy. Ofelia Tejerina, the cyber law expert, really hit on this point.
Yeah, it's a huge issue, especially as we become more and more reliant on technology.
Right, and she brought up two specific examples in Spain that really illustrate the challenges we're facing.
Oh, interesting. What were they?
Well, the first one was about a new traveler registration system they implemented.
A traveler registration system.
Yeah. And it immediately raised concerns about data collection and security. Like, who has access to this information? How is it being protected?
Right. And is it really necessary?
Exactly. It's that whole balance between convenience and privacy.
We're constantly giving up a little bit of privacy for the sake of convenience.
Right. And then the second example Tejerina mentioned was this murder case where a Google Street View image actually helped identify the suspect.
Wow, a Google Street View image. That's pretty wild.
I know, right? But it sparked all sorts of debate about surveillance and the erosion of privacy.
Like, where do we draw the line? It's a public space, but do we really want to be constantly monitored?
Exactly. And it's not just about Google Street View. It's about all the ways we're being tracked and monitored, often without even realizing it.
It's like that saying, if you're not paying for the product, you are the product.
Exactly. And in this case, the product is our data.
So what was Tejerina's takeaway from all of this?
Her message was pretty clear. Don't be complacent about your privacy. Be aware of how your data is being used. And don't be afraid to ask questions.
That's good advice. We often just blindly accept these terms and conditions without really thinking about it.
Right. And she and Román Ramírez ended the discussion with a really powerful call to action.
I'm all ears. What did they say?
They urged listeners to be proactive, not just in protecting their own rights, but in advocating for a future where technology actually serves humanity.
Not the other way around.
Exactly. They were saying, don't just sit back and let technology control you.
Take charge. Shape the future you want to see.
Exactly. And they also emphasized the importance of staying ahead of the curve. Experiment with AI tools, understand how they work, and think critically about their implications.
Knowledge is power, right?
It really is. The more we understand about these technologies, the better equipped we'll be to navigate this rapidly evolving landscape.
So this roundtable discussion from Spain gave us a lot to think about.
It did. The future of cybersecurity in 2025 is shaping up to be pretty complex.
We've got the talent squeeze, the potential for skilled professionals to turn to cybercrime, and the growing importance of privacy.
And all of this is happening against the backdrop of increasingly powerful AI.
It's a lot to unpack.
It is. But there's one more piece of this puzzle that we need to examine.
Which is?
The ethical implications of AI. If AI can be used for both good and evil in cybersecurity, who ultimately controls the balance of power in the digital world?
That's the million-dollar question, and it's one we'll explore in our next segment.
So we've been talking about all these different aspects of cybersecurity in 2025, Spain, this talent shortage, the possibility of people going to the dark side.
And those amazing folks at the Good Job Foundation making a real difference.
Absolutely. And we can't forget about privacy. That's a huge concern.
Oh yeah, it's only getting more important as technology advances.
But now it's time to tackle the elephant in the room, the big question looming over everything we've discussed.
You mean AI, the ethics of it all?
Exactly. When AI can be used for good or bad, who's really in control? Who decides how this incredible power is used in cybersecurity?
That's the question, isn't it? And it's a tough one. There isn't one simple answer, no single person or organization holding all the cards.
So what do we do then? How do we even start to address this?
First, we need to realize that cybersecurity isn't just about technology anymore.
It's about ethics, values, the kind of future we want to build.
Right. We can't just keep building fancier firewalls and calling it a day. We need to think about the bigger picture, the ethical implications of AI.
So how do we ensure AI is used for good? That it's a force for protecting people and systems, not exploiting them.
Well, investing in research is crucial. We need to be developing AI systems that are not only powerful, but also secure and ethical.
AI that reflects our values, not just our technical skills.
Exactly. And it's not enough to just have the technology. We need people who understand it, who can use it responsibly.
This goes back to that talent shortage we talked about. We need experts who are both technically skilled and ethically aware.
Absolutely. And it's not just on individuals either. Governments, corporations, everyone needs to be working together to develop guidelines and regulations.
We need a multifaceted approach. Responsible development, ethical experts, and clear regulations.
Right. It's a shared responsibility.
But what about us, the everyday users of technology? What role do we play in all of this?
Stay informed, stay engaged. The more you know about AI, the more empowered you are to make informed decisions.
And to speak up about how you want this technology to be used.
Exactly. The future of AI is not predetermined. It's something we're all creating together.
Wow. This deep dive has been quite a journey. We've covered so much ground, from talent shortages to the dark side of cybersecurity, the fight for privacy, and the ethical challenges of AI.
It's a lot to process.
It is. But the future of cybersecurity, and really the future of our digital lives, hinges on how we answer these questions, how we shape this technology.
So thank you for joining us on this exploration.
We hope you learned something new and are feeling inspired to help build a digital future that's both secure and ethical. And remember, the future isn't something that just happens to us. It's something we create together.